Right, finally again. We tried this session yesterday and in the end we had an issue with the audio. So if you by any chance were here yesterday, I apologize. It was me pressing the wrong button during the presentation. So today you are going to learn some very useful exercises, creative exercises. In fact, you can use what you learned today to create personalized stories that support your audience's experience from customers to employee, but also in general, when you need to be creative in communicating and engaging with your context. Maybe you know, maybe you know me, but maybe we know each other. Perhaps this is the first time you see me. This is me, Josías de la Espada. And let me just give you some context. Also about the little one there behind the emoji. So I'm the CEO of Personal. Personal is a top video software company. I founded Personal back in 2017, and we've helped brands like BMW, Financial Services, Liberty, Reading Partnership, Zumba, Workable, and others leverage personalization, automation, and creativity to create video experiences that help them engage with their distracted audiences. We all have them, right? Distracted audiences, no matter what you offer, product, a service, a brand, an idea, an employee, we'll have distracted audiences. We all deal with them. And at Personal, we help you deal with them or engage with them one contact at a time, at scale, and automatically. And the concepts I'm about to share with you, many of them can be applied to any type of personalization, not just personalized videos. Okay, so the way we often help our clients is through both our personalized video software, which is flexible, scalable, secure, which is critical when we talk about personalization, but also with our consulting services, professional services. So basically, many organizations don't have time, bandwidth, experience, and they simply need a friendly hand, let's say, to help them in that process. That's what we do as well. Now, as you can see from this picture, I love personalization, but not the creepy personalization. And I'll explain why later today. By the way, this is my son. Before I jump into like more specifics, I want to I found these guys. So you probably know the I don't know how to pronounce this in English, marketingist, and they I've been following them for a few years now, and they do fun cartoons about marketing. And I found this page here with many of them. I mean, the ones they have done throughout the years, and they are quite funny. So let me just zoom this one in. And this will give us better context to understand what creepy personalization is and the importance of using storytelling and personalization to support your customers, students, investors, employees' experience. So it says personalization gone wrong. Sarah, we have amazing deals, Sarah, just for you, Sarah. And that's the just name. And that's what most organizations do. Maybe you are among them, and that's fine. It's a good first step. The reality is that, for example, having the name of the person in an email is still effective, but according to research, it's not as effective as it used to be. And we'll see why through this, or you'll learn why through this webinar. Then I noticed it was 76 degrees today in Santa Fe, where you live. Superficial. I mean, they similar to them, they already know that. All right, so in the end, you'll see the question, you learn the question you need to ask yourself to make sure that whatever you use in terms of personalization, your stories, is aligned with your audience, with every contact. There is a question you need to ask. Then, since you are over 40, here are offers for assisted living. Generalization. And a client spoke about this a few weeks ago. We were creating a case study covering how they were able to achieve the highest scoring in employee well-being and belonging thanks to, among other things, personalized videos and our service and so on. And he was speaking about the desire of leveraging hyper-personalization to increase engagement even further. Okay, and one of his concerns was that generalization. Like, for example, I am Latino, I'm originally from Panama, Blackish, and maybe my context is different. If you compare it to someone, maybe a native Canadian or German or someone from the UK or even from Spain, where I'm personally based. Okay, so today you learn why the context is important, and I don't want to take use loads of time here, but the thing is that there are many ways personalization and storytelling can go wrong. But today, before this webinar ends, you'll be able to creatively use data, customer, employees, students, your context data, to craft personalized stories that keep them, your context, engaged. And also that help them take the next step in their journey with your brand. You learned some of the strategies I use to help brands like yours consistently build and retain engagement with their audiences. That's something we all want to see happening, right? No matter your product or service, we'll want to see more engaged audiences, customers, employees. If you lose them, you lose them. If you keep them engaged, it's not only what you are currently gaining from them, but you are able to even double X. you can improve your conversions, even in terms of revenue, lifetime value, or even advocacy if we're talking about for example, employee engagement. Today, you'll also learn how to bring your team on board. I'll show you a creative exercise you can apply. Because in the end, let's face it, most cool creative like innovation, digital transformation projects, whatever is different, get stuck because it's not because of the innovation or the creativity, but because not everyone is on board. And this is an expensive mistake. In fact, the vast majority of innovation projects get stuck because of this. And has that ever happened to you, by the way? If it has, please comment. That way I know that I'll be able to share that information or that experience with others, and I'll feel less frustrated when I see more organizations dealing exactly with the same issue. It's a big and expensive issue. All right. Think for a moment about the contacts you usually reach out to. Customers in a CRM or employees, maybe in a spreadsheet or in a tool like SAP, MailChimp, whatever you use. Now, I want you to remember the following. Almost 8 out of 10 of these contacts get frustrated at your organization / you when you don't personalize their experience. 8 out of 10. That's a lot. And nowadays, almost every marketer and customer experience leader talks in one or another way about personalization. Obviously, I do. And I've made some of the mistakes I've covered already. And I have allowed some customers in the past make the same mistake. And I cannot force customers to choose one or another direction. That's up to you all. But I can tell you what works and what doesn't work based on my experience working with similar organizations for, I think it's more than a decade now with personalization. 7 of those years with Personal, with my company. So even when I love the fact that people talk about it, and almost everyone talks about personalization today, it's even harder to actually find organizations successfully implementing personalization in a successful, or not successful, sustainable way. And you'll see what's sustainable throughout this presentation, or let's call it conversation. These are the 3 top expensive issues, problems that come when organizations like yours don't leverage personalization to support your audience's experience. In this order. First, they stop paying attention to your messages, emails, text messages, phone calls, direct mail campaigns, banners, whatever you use. And because they are no longer emotionally connected, and you'll learn why emotions are important in a few minutes, so stick with me. We'll go over the numbers as well. The problem is that if they're not emotionally connected to your organization, they can't even recommend it to others. So they ignore most messages, they choose brands that offer a better experience, and they don't recommend irrelevant brands. And that's your brand if you are not using personalization in a way that supports, that helps, that raises, builds up, that helps them in their experience with your organization. But the good news is that today you're going to learn how to create stories that use data, your customers, students, investors, employees' data, to improve their experience so that you can grab their attention, you can engage with them, and you can help them take action, the next step in their journey. Okay? Context. In my view, / experience, the most effective marketing and communication strategies in general are like a conversation. And the best conversations, just think about the best conversations you have, or the best conversations you have had. Probably the common line, let's say, is that there was context. So call it with either an old client, you know them well, so there is context, your son, daughter, wife, whoever, or your maybe an employee. The best conversations are based on context. And this context helps you create personalized videos like the ones I'll be sharing with you in a moment, personalized landing pages, personalized emails like the ones I'm also about to share with you that support their experience. And because it supports their experience, this content supports their experience, then they pay more attention, you engage with them, and you are able to help them take the next step in their journey with your organization, which is critical. Now, in the end, if you want to boost engagement, if you want to increase engagement and use the power used by brand teams, screenwriters, maybe, or even book writers, just writers in general, people that create stories that are generally known because they create stories, you need to focus on your audience's context, not yours. Again, you need to focus on their context, not yours, or not only yours. And this context takes you to what I called yesterday personalization land, which is where you grab your people's attention, then you engage with them, and you help them take the next step in their journey with your organization based on their goals, again, not yours. And for this, you can use storytelling and personalization to make your communications more effective and keep your audience interested. You'll see how in a few moments. You don't need a creative team or a large budget, or you don't need to have weird metrics. There is no need. Okay? To understand how, there are 3 misconceptions or lies we need to get rid of regarding storytelling and personalization. Are you ready? Are you with me? Lie number 1, storytelling is for the creative guys only. They'll tell us what they come up with. And yes, I partially agree. Many of our clients, for instance, are agencies. And this is great because agencies are there to serve their clients, these brands they work with. But the reality is that, guess what? The most effective marketing communication is like a conversation, what I said a moment ago. And we pay more attention to this conversation when we know we have something at stake. And guess what? You have something at stake. But too often, many teams limit themselves, in my opinion, and / experience, by waiting on people that seem to be more creative than them. But here is the reality. Sometimes you and or your team are the only resources available because everyone else is just too busy. So instead of waiting, you need to do something about it. And I'll show you what to do exactly what to do in a moment. Let me tell you a personal story that will frame the following exercises I'm about to share with you, and even examples I'm about to share with you. A few years ago, my wife called me in a panic because a girl from my son's taekwondo class had briefly lost consciousness while playing with my son. So I do get why she was concerned. Since I was working from home, I work from home still actually, she asked me to accompany the girl, to accompany her father and the girl to the hospital. They needed someone to talk to her and keep her awake. If you have children, you probably know that, if whenever they hurt themselves, like some kind of trying to find a word in English, but whenever something happens to their head, it is important to keep them awake, you get it, to see if there is some kind of negative reaction. So they shouldn't fall asleep. And this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I have been told by the doctors, because just life, right? So in the end, I found myself in a car with a little girl, and I didn't know her at all. And I was basically trying to have a conversation with her to prevent her from falling asleep. But here is the deal. Despite not knowing much about her, I used the context and information I had to start and maintain a conversation for about maybe 30 minutes or so. It was crucial because her life was at stake. Thank God everything turned out fine in the end. And here's something I learned from this experience. People pay attention and stay engaged when you adapt to their context. And probably the best people to A/B test this with is, generally speaking, just children. And this is what I did with this girl. So probably none of you know this, but most kids find me boring. And I don't blame them. Some adults do, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But when you have something at stake, is it true that you make all the effort you can so that you keep that person organization, brand, customer, employee engage, don't we? Because there is something important at stake, right? So just like I did my best in this case to adapt to this little girl's context because there was something huge at stake, her life, we'll have to make the effort, right? So otherwise, most contacts in your CRM, email tool, spreadsheets, you name whatever tool you use, will stop paying attention. Then they'll switch brands and stop talking about your organization, except when they have something bad to say about it. And that's no good, right? Does that make sense? So how do you get there? How do you learn and adapt to your people's context? Let's see how. What you have here is what I call I call it a personalized marketing map. I have a little lapse there. Personalized marketing map. I'm going to go over it so that you can see how to use it. To understand the context of your audience, you need to understand the stages they are at in their journey with your organization. So if you're in marketing, this is probably, old news for you, and that's fine, because you'll see why it is important and how to use it in a moment. If you are maybe in internal communications and this is not your thing, that's fine as well. If you are in HR, if you are just maybe a CTO trying to figure out a new innovation approach for your organization, that's fine as well. Because in the end, what matters here is that no matter how or who your audience is, why they are getting in touch actively or passively with you, or who they are and what they want from you, we all follow, or they all follow this process, kind of, okay? You can name it in different ways, that's perfectly fine. Conceptually speaking, it is more or less the same. And one of the easiest ways to do this is through these 3-5 stages of the customer journey. But again, you can adapt it to employee journey, to whatever makes sense according to your industry, product, program, etc. Know that in the end, you can change the names, but the concept still applies. So awareness, consideration, decision, retention, and advocacy. These are different stages we all go through when having some interest for a product, service, brand, idea, organization, and then taking the following steps that in the end up with us taking action and even talking about this brand, product, service, idea, etc. Let me go quickly over them. Awareness. This is basically the initial stage where customers become aware of your brand, product, service for the first time. Aware of their problems, aware of their concerns. For example, if you are an insurance company, this is the stage where customers learn about available insurance plans for travelers. If you are in internal communications, this is where employees learn about the benefits your organization provides. Consideration. This is basically when potential customers, employees, or even current customers, because you have people, think about it as a wheel. People go back to these stages when they have different needs, and that's something you want them to experience. You want them to go back to those stages once their need has been covered. You want them to keep them engaged because you have more to offer to them, right? So this is when they are aware of your product, your brand more particularly, and they are actively considering solutions for their problems. So they are considering different options, maybe A/B testing already. They are comparing options out there. And they might be researching different options, looking, going through features, maybe talking to their network, reading reviews, even talking to your sales reps, to, even watching videos, listening to podcasts, calling you directly, going to your department, if we are talking about internal communications maybe. So they are trying to gather what they need in order to make the next step, or to take the next step in their journey. The next step is decision. This is the obvious stage where potential customers, employees, students, etc. make a final decision about whether or not to purchase your product or service. And then I won't focus that much today, at least in the retention advocacy one, but then you have the retention advocacy, which is basically when you're basically keeping existing customers happy and turning them into loyal advocates of your brand, for your brand. So obviously this, in my opinion, is one of the most important ones, okay? But this requires totally different session in my view. So by the way, you could also add like repurchase. So basically, again, you want people to come back. All right, you want people to go back to the awareness, consideration, decision, retention. The sooner they do it, the better. The faster they do it, the better. If they skip any of these stages, even better. So if they go from here to here, even better. Make sense? You with me? Okay, so the key point here is that by understanding these stages, you can develop targeted strategies, interactions, messages that fall under the same roof or narrative that basically in the end, you'll see how in a moment with examples I'm about to share, but you want them to feel connected to your brand, connected to the experiences you have to offer, to the ideas you have to share, to your value proposition, to your point of view. And the way you get there is by using stories, using personalization, and using emotional motivators, emotional drivers that adapt to their context. Let's see how through a few examples before I jump into this framework here.
Hi, Mark. Did you know that Sempris Ways provides you with an exclusive benefits package to support your well-being? And there are 3 benefits you are not enjoying yet. This short video summarizes everything you receive through being a partner in connecting millions of lives daily. Watch it until the end to know how to redeem your benefits today. You receive a fixed amount of pay, which totals the amount shown on screen. Did you know that Sempris Ways provides you with a benefits package to support your well-being? You are not currently part of the Sempris Ways scheme. You are missing out on employer contributions to your retirement savings. You are already enjoying a wide range of health and protection benefits, such as life assurance, occupational sick pay, access to a medical cash plan, and our partner assistance program. The total value of these benefits is shown here. This is what the company spends to provide you with these benefits. Altogether, this is the total value of your rewards here at Sempris Ways. We also offer a variety of voluntary benefits. Here are some key benefits which you may not be taking advantage of. Why not head to the My Benefits section of the intranet to find out more? Thank you for your partnership. Don't forget to redeem your benefits today. Head to the My Benefits section of the intranet to find out more now.
So as you can see, this is a personalized video. This is automatically created with our software Personal, along with the landing page and interaction in the video. And as you can see, it uses the person's context. So let me pause it here. Obviously, the name, that's the most obvious personalization, but you need to go beyond first name, as we learned from these guys here, right? But also, they are giving the context. They are helping the context understand that he's missing out on something important, which is life insurance and more. So life insurance is a personalization, talking about our dynamic card, basically. So that's data they know, and they are helping this person understand that he is important, in helping connect millions of lives. That he's already enjoying certain benefits, salary, compensation, etc. But also that there are benefits he's missing, which is life insurance, which is used as a hook to get him to watch until this part here, where the benefits he's missing are displayed. All right. So this is a creative way. basically of using personalization to help to support this person's experience, to help this person understand business critical information so that he takes the next step in his journey. Let me show you another example.
Hello, Tom. Your choice for clean energy has made a big impact. You used 8,200 kilowatt hours this year, making a real difference. You've also saved $600. That's 25% more than traditional energy costs. Your clean energy choice has saved 4.5 tons of CO2 emissions. Thanks for your dedication. You have been very inspiring with your loyalty. Let's keep building a sustainable future together. Share your victory. Tell your friends and family about your success with clean energy.
So in this case, we have complex information.
Hello, Tom.
Which is, how many of you are, how many of you are clean energy experts? I'm not. So in this case, they are helping him understand the amount of money he's saving and the impact this is having in the environment, because those are values that are aligned with the customer. If it was a different customer, perhaps the value proposition would be a different one. And then they have a call to action, which is related to what matters to this type of contact, which is basically showing off, generally speaking, or sharing the victory, etc. Okay, so in this case, as you can see, there are different ways personalization can be used to support the experience of the person, to improve his experience, their experience, so that they take the next step in their journey based on their goals, but also based on your goals. Again, both things are extremely important. So to do this, we need to focus on what every contact needs, wants, and desires, even the concerns. I'm going to use an example in the hospitality industry, okay, because it's an industry that, I'm not an expert in insurance marketing or in HR or car brands or anything like that. We work with those brands, all right? But guess what? We all have, stayed in a hotel night or 2 nights or whatever, or most of us, right? So it's something we can easily relate to, no matter your industry and product. Now, what I want to ask from you right now is to have a creative mind, okay? Be creative. Think for a moment about the different data points, personalization tokens, the dynamic information you have, first name, last name, country, language, product names, buyer persona, segment, insurance policy, times this person has traveled, number of kids, okay? Think about all the data you have gathered or you have access to, or you could gather. Maybe you don't have it yet, but that's fine too, because you could use it in the future. And I'll in a few minutes, I'll share with you a simple question you should ask yourself to make sure it sustains, it supports your customers' experience, your employees' experience, and so on. So in this hospitality industry, here is something you need to ask always, okay? So use this as your framework. What does every contact need? And this could change. For that, you need to use patterns or segments that help you understand what on average they need, unless they have explicitly they have straightforward tell you what they want. My family and I need to rest and spend some quality time together. That's it. So simply answer this question, trying to be like in your contact's shoes. That's it. So what do they want? What do they want to achieve? And remember, contacts have their own, like your contacts, your audience, customers, etc. They have their own goals, KPIs even, and metrics, just that they phrase them in a different way. Now, the next step is to think what's your business goal or objective? And we know what they want, but what about your organization, right? My recommendation is to be as specific as you can. And one of the best ways to do this is by using SMART goals. Now, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I don't have time to go over that particularly like now. So if you haven't heard about SMART goals, just type it in Google and you'll find a few articles that would be probably relevant. The point here is to be specific. Otherwise, you'll have a really cool project that will end nowhere, like end up nowhere, and you don't want that to happen. You want to achieve specific things. In this case, I am being extremely generic. This is not good here, just to keep it simple. But brand visibility could mean you want your brand to be the top, the top 3 option, up from the top 5 options where you are at right now, for instance. Okay, so basically you get this usually comes through maybe SEO, social media presence, advertising. If it's already a contact or a customer because they have gone through the wheel, as I mentioned earlier, then maybe it's email, WhatsApp messages, text messages, whatever you have access to. Now let's move to the next row, available data. And here you can already use dynamic card. What I did here is that whenever you see blue, that's dynamic information, okay? So traffic source and search terms. At this stage, it is possible that you don't have much data if we are talking about someone going through these stages for the first time with your organization. If it is already a customer, employee, partner, investor, etc., chances are you already have this data, right? Your CRM, spreadsheets, email tools, and so on. So this depends on what you offer and when this awareness stage takes place. Because again, it could be that it is someone that has already gone through this process. Like think about maybe an insurance customer, and that could be buying more because they are maybe going to travel and they need an insurance for travelers, for example, and they are already a car insurance customer. See, so there you had information already about this person. But if it's someone going through this process for the first time, it's different. Most people would think they don't have, or they don't know maybe that much about their contacts at this stage. But for example, if it's a hotel, in this example here, and it's a user, not even a contact, that is engaging or about to engage with this hotel, this organization for the first time, they know, the organization could know the search terms used by this user or the traffic source, and that could tell them more about this, which then they can use, as you'll see in a moment. Okay, so in the next row, you're going to type the content or channel you can use to communicate with these people. And in this example, it's not even a lead yet, as I mentioned. So as you can see, the channels are not like one-to-one. So it's not email or text messages or anything like that. It's just open channels like a blog post, social media channels, maybe a magazine, a YouTube channel, TikTok, and so on. Now, if this was already a contact, a customer, an employee, then you'll probably be using email, WhatsApp, or even a chat widget, an intranet, any tool, to personalize their experience, and you'll see how in a moment. Okay, so in the personalization, you're going to add another row here that I called just personalization. And here I'm using what I called dynamic cards, which is like personalization tokens, just the personalization you have. I call it dynamic cards because I do these in physical workshops where you have printed cards, like business cards, and there you have the data you have access to, one item per card, and then you have a creative exercise where you come up with ideas in terms of how to use that card to support the experience of the customer, employee, etc. And you'll see the question you need to ask in a moment. So looking for a hotel in Panama City, and this Panama City comes thanks to the available data. See there? So it is basic personalization, but it is the type of personalization that already helps you stand out and improve conversions. Now let's move to the consideration stage. In this stage, you often know a bit more about every contact. This becomes even easier if you have some kind of mechanism in place that allows you to segment these contacts. For example, I'm marking in blue the personalization fields from the available data from the dynamic cards. So we know, what does these people need? Do these people need a hotel with lots of outdoor activities for kids and excellent food I can find at home? Is this relatable? This is probably me. Then in your goals here in this example, help clients identify the hotel's relevancy based on their needs and help them request information. So we're talking about a conversion already. And then available data. Maybe you have name, destination, dates, interest, numbers of guests, kids, ages, etc. Type of channel, email, video, personalized video. Okay, and even a personalized email like this one here, where you have the video that is personalized. It's like an old one. You've probably seen this one online. I made it a few years ago. And like, hi Kevin, well, your doctor will be proud of you. Kevin, check your personalized video. That's the main call to action, because personalized videos are about 116% more effective than generic videos. And we all know that generic videos convert really well if the strategy is aligned, or if it is the right one. And then Kevin, you've probably heard this one before. My doctor told me to take my iron every day and to live on greens. Well, your doctor will be proud of you. We are getting everything ready for your stay at Sempris Hotels Marbella. And from you and blah, 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 since you love golf and Mediterranean food, and they know this because it's, what's the name? Because of the loyalty program, probably, we have a gift for you. Watch your personalized video now to learn more. See? And then more personalization here for VIP like you, VIPs like you, etc., etc., etc. Basically, it supports the value proposition, right? So in the end, this is similar to this example. So it's using the data in a fun way / funny way to connect, like through the story, connect with this person through his contact, golf, through his wife or partner's context, which is dinner for two, I believe it was here. Yeah, Mediterranean food. That's the gift, okay? And all that is to support the experience and to help this person understand that, what's the value proposition these people have to offer and the next step they want him to take because it aligns with his goals. In this example here, Jennifer, I'm going to try to use a voiceover voice. I'm not a voiceover actor, as you can tell. Jennifer, from kayaking adventures to the best local cuisine, Sempris Forest Hotel offers a variety of activities for families seeking more than just a breath of fresh air. You get it, right? Discover what other families have to say. So what you see in blue here is the personalization, just to make it obvious for you. Jennifer, kayaking adventures, etc. Is this data that they have expressively shared with the hotel? Probably not. But they know this through the CRM, through the chatbot, through the type of articles this person has read, the emails this person has opened, maybe a potential lead generator, a survey, a quiz, etc. And based on that information, then they know that they don't know if this person maybe likes like kayaking adventures, but they know that they have kids, okay, and also kids and their ages. So this is an activity that perhaps adapts to their profile. And they know that this is a lady and that she's traveling with a partner. And if they're traveling with kids, chances are they don't want to cook. Chances are they never have time for themselves, like, to be together and all that without the kids. Therefore, food, all right, food and cuisine and just getting out with the kids with great activities sounds like a plan. You see how the story is built? It's created around the data they have access to and how they make that story personalized to increase engagement and therefore accelerate, in this particular case, sales. And you can apply the same again to any industry concept, internal or external audiences. It doesn't really matter. What matters here is a creative exercise, and this is something you can do either solo, which is perfectly fine, or with your team. And they don't have to be all creative people. It doesn't matter, because you're adding their perspectives based on their knowledge of the audience, pain points, value proposition, internal or external value proposition, like employee value proposition, just the company's value proposition, brand value proposition, etc., to better craft messages that adapt to their context. Now, let's move to the next stage. Actually, before we get there, something really important. Emotionally connected customers, and the same applies to employees. People in the end pay with money or time, right? We all pay with money or time. Those are our two currencies. They are way more invested than satisfied customers. I'll say this again. Emotionally connected customers are way more invested than satisfied customers. And the reality is that most of your competitors focus on satisfied customers. Perhaps you do the same. Or satisfied employees. Right? But guess what? If you're talking about emotionally connected people, there is an emotional connection lift, which translates in 2.5x the sales from that particular individual. So you're basically almost tripling your spend, the annual spend, but also you are extending the lifetime value. Okay, basically based on the tenure here. So this here is based on B2C. If it's B2B, it might be even longer. If it's employee engagement, it might be even longer here and a larger number here as well. Make sense? So that's why it is critical, it is important to emotionally connect with your people. Now, as you can see, this can be easy, right? So this is an exercise you can do. In the decision stage, you'll often know even more about your context. And if you're going through this process for the second time, third time, and so on, even more. So here's what a personalized message looks like in this case. Looks like, Jennifer, how about a complimentary dinner for two at Forest Hotel if you book within the next 24 hours? Additionally, our children's care service ensures that your kids will have a great time while you and your partner can relax. See what's happening there? So they're using, again, more personalized data from this stage here, number of people, destination, budget, dates, etc., also built up based on what happened here. They are making an even stronger case for their value proposition. Basically, complimentary dinner for two, Jennifer and her partner. Okay, Semper's Forest Hotel, because maybe it's a resort. Again, adapt this to your context. Just think creatively, and I'll give you a question you need to ask yourself that will give you these answers. And fear of missing out, that's an emotional motivator. There are around 300 of them. When they use here within the next 24 hours, they're using FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's one of the top 10 emotional motivators. There are around 300 of them. If you watch any TV commercial, video ad, chances are you'll see them there. Great pieces, masterpieces use them. And that's something that can also be personalized because the emotional motivators change based even on the stage in the journey. And they are giving another reason why. Okay, if this is not enough, let's give this person another one. Child care service. Who doesn't want that while you're having a romantic dinner? So they're not saying, yes, we have we know that you are 2 adults and 3 kids, and we are happy, glad that you guys are coming. That's gonna work. It's gonna do better than any other thing. But if you want to take it to the next level, use story. Jennifer, how about a complimentary dinner for 2 at Cypress Forest Hotel if you book within the next 24 hours? Additionally, our child care service ensures your kids will have a great time while you and your partner can relax, which is something they can read between the lines to see that's what they want to do here. Again, this is a creative exercise. Now, another lie I want to bring down to earth and destroy is that personalization is creepy. Some people think this, and the reality is that it is only creepy if you make it creepy. So if I go back to the second slide of this presentation or my face, a picture of myself and my son, that would be creepy. And even this example here, if I just say, since you guys are 5, this is what we have. It's not creepy, it's creepy-ish, but it doesn't connect emotionally with the person on the other side of the screen. Because they already know their name, so how can you deliver value through those messages and interactions? How can you help them understand things in a better way that adapts to their context? And that's one of the reasons why I love personalized videos, by the way. So there is a fear that overly personalized content like videos can feel intrusive or creepy to viewers, like the one I showed you earlier, or even let's say this one here. Let me play it for you.
Hello, Henry. You are in control of your home and your future. And we understand that sometimes we all go through difficult times. We are committed to helping you understand your options during your forbearance process. Your forbearance plan is designed to help you by pausing your monthly mortgage payments. During the forbearance time, we will not report negative information to the credit bureaus. As you are nearly at the end of your initial forbearance period, we want to present several options that will help you make the best decision for your current situation. Your forbearance period ends on May 28th. Since you paused 3 months of payments, you owe this amount. To explain further, forbearance will not waive or forgive the payments. Your forbearance...
By the way, this one uses a personalized call to action. Personalized call to action are about 200% more effective than generic calls to action. So the point there is that, as you can see, it could feel creepy if you don't deliver that information within the right context. Forbearance process is a hard, emotionally hard process for people. But the video that we just viewed, offers information and helps you understand that that this organization is on your side to help you achieve your goal while they achieve their goals as well. And they're helping you understand a complex concept, which is the forbearance one, about your options, dates, and so on. Many organizations have important and complicated information that their audiences need to understand, but most of them ignore it, as I said earlier. And if they ignore it, they will not ignore also other communications. Then they will be totally disengaged and they'll stop the relationship with your organization and they won't recommend it. We all have a lot going on in our lives, right? And what you have to offer or to say to them is not just, it's not like their top priority. And that's something we need to remember. When they come to you with questions or when they buy something, that's when it's a priority for them. But once they have done what they wanted to do, they'll disconnect and go somewhere else. Unless you constantly engage with them throughout the customer journey, awareness, consideration, decision, and you do this constantly, not just when it's the decision stage or the awareness stage, but constantly based on their context. Does that mean that personalization needs to be obvious always? No, it doesn't have to be obvious always. It simply needs to support their experience, improve their experience so that it is easier for them to take the next step in their journey. And the best way to deliver that personalization is through a story that connects, that emotionally connects with them. When you use personalization to make content more appealing, like emails, direct mail campaigns, videos, etc., it can feel creepy and inappropriate if you overlook one crucial thing I'm about to share with you. Your personalization, again, should be there to support their experience, and that's it, period, while actually you achieve your business goals. Otherwise, we have a problem. Here's a really simple question you can ask yourself. Your colleagues, you can ask your colleagues as well. You can ask like your team, you can ask your agency. And the thing here is to make sure that you are not creepy. And the way you avoid being creepy is by asking this question: how can you blank help this person? How can blank help this person better understand blank? Again, how can blank help this person better understand blank? See? The focus is not just on using personalization to impress them or maybe to improve some kind of reputation or to stand out. It is there to improve their experience. Again, the focus is not on using personalization to impress them, but on improving their experience. For this to make even more sense, you should take into account their goals, again, and your goals. So, for example, a client wanted to increase, I remember a client, they wanted to increase the activation for certain feature in their SaaS product, some SaaS product in the HR world. And they used personalized videos creatively to help to help their users understand why that feature made sense according to their profile. And some of the information they had access to is the number of emails you had sent, for instance, in the previous year. So instead of saying, hey, you have sent 3,000 emails, go and activate this feature, they used an emotional motivator, which is, saving time, peace of mind, bandwidth, etc. So they said something like, yes, last year you sent 3,000 emails, but in fact you could have saved X number of hours. I'm going to just say 150 hours if you had activated this feature. Why don't you go and activate it now? That's it. That's the idea, right? Not the exact words. So how can the number of emails help this person better understand that they should activate this feature because it is going to help them save time? The how is, for instance, by interpreting that information, emails, into the number of average hours this person could save by activating the feature, for instance. See? So how can blank help this person better understand blank? This way, you make personalization support their experience again. And the last lie, before we jump into Q&As, is that personalization is hard. Many people think that personalization is hard. But as you saw, it is not hard to come up with ideas beyond first name when you creatively focus on your contact's context and obviously your business goals. For instance, so recently a company told me that before getting to know about Personal, about our company, Personalize Video Software, they thought they had to manually create the videos one by one. And I've spoken with companies in the past that have done videos manually until they figured out that there was software like ours that could help them do this automatically and at scale and in a secure way, etc. The reality is that there is technology out there. technology that can help you send emails with personalization, like HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp. You have tools for pretty much any budget out there, even for videos like ours. And obviously there are other options out there in the market. Our clients choose us because they like the flexibility our software provides, the help my team provides. So we walk with you because we understand that most organizations are not personalization experts and marketing automation experts and storytellers and so on. So we understand that, but also because they like the security, which is one of the reasons why people think that personalization could be creepy, because many tools out there don't have the security mindset and even certification, because we are an ISO 27001 certified organization. They don't have that security in place to serve their audience in a way that helps them feel safe. Okay? So, yeah. And then scalability. Obviously, you can do this at scale no matter the volume. For 1,000 people, 100 of them, 10,000, 100,000, a million, it doesn't really matter. It depends on the size of your audience. And all these with integration. So you can integrate different automation and personalization tools. We can have another session about that another day, like HubSpot with Personal. Actually, here you have a workflow example. Whenever this event here takes place, this is an automation workflow, the concept, right? So whenever an event takes place, like whenever a web form is submitted, whenever a contact has certain characteristics in terms of segmentation, then our software automatically creates the personalized videos. And then in this example, HubSpot is updated, which at the same time triggers an email so that the contact has an hyperlink or a thumbnail or a button in the email. And then from there, a landing page that is personalized, call to action that is personalized, the video, all these in an automated way, combining tools like HubSpot, Salesforce, Marketo, Google Sheets, a web form, any tool you have in place with our tool to scale multimedia personalization. But for some companies, this could be even a simple spreadsheet. So maybe you have a campaign, a CSV, and you want to create videos for 1,000 contacts, 100 contacts, 20,000 contacts, and that's fine. Actually, through our tool, our dashboard, you can do this, or we can do it for you. You simply upload the file, and that would automatically generate the videos, landing pages, calls to action. Okay. So here's another example of, in this case, an insurance industry. Is here to increase renewals, which is a big pain in the insurance industry, right? So whenever certain time, whenever the X number of days prior the renewal of this insurance policy for this contact, a personalized video is created to help this organization improve the experience, reduce churn, and increase sales. Okay, and if this video is aligned with their context, their needs, concerns, etc., this video will help then the contact perform the action the organization is expecting, which is renewing right away. And this happens automatically through a workflow like this one here, regardless of the tools organizations or your organization has in place, or even if you don't have them, that's fine, or even experience, because we walk with you step by step. So this is what I had for you. Perhaps you have questions. I want to make sure I answer them, and feel free to reach out as well. You can contact me through LinkedIn, Josias de la Espada. Okay, Josias de la Espada in LinkedIn, or just type in Google Personal CEO. You should be able to find me there. So you can connect better with your audience so that they understand business critical information in an easy way, so that they take the next step in their journey with your organization. If you want that to happen to you, the same way we have helped organizations like BMW, Financial Services, Zumba, Mitsubishi, Quaker, Reading Partnership, Workable, and so on,